Hello everyone. Good morning, good night. I hope all the good things are happening for you guys. So tonight's story, it's a doozy, but it's not really well known. So when I heard about it, I'm like, I have got to talk about this case. We have got to celebrate this amazing man, okay? Now, this story, you guys, by the way, hi, I'm Katie Brannon. Welcome to Tea Time True Crime with Katie. And I'm always kind of confused of how to start this. If you have any ideas, definitely let me know down in the comments below. This story is actually a Playboy tale. Yes. This is one of the stories that has been like scooped under the rug that no one can hear about, no one can see. But of course with social media and a new HBO Max series by Holly Madison, she's narrating, and other Playboy stars and Playmates, is talking about these different tales of the Playboy Mansion. So I'm going to be talking about, plus with that documentary I watched and all the articles I've read, I'm going to be talking about James Arthur. Man, that poor man. I'm getting ahead of myself here, like always. So we're going to talk about Stacey Arthur, okay? Now, Stacey Arthur was born June 4th, 1968. She was very, very beautiful. She had, like, just gorgeous. She was very quiet when she was growing up. And she graduated high school in 1986. I believe under her picture said parentheses Gemini. All right, love it. Astrology work here. And she was a manager in a craft store in 1988. So she was really good with crafts and ceramic work. So already she's very creative, not only very beautiful, but very kind, very sweet. People have nothing but really good things to say about her when she was younger. Yeah, I know, I'm foreboding, I'm like foreshadowing a little bit, but I'm telling you, this story is insane. The last story I did about Dorothy Stratton, about that, Paul Schneider douchebag who was so jealous of his wife's fame and wanted her money. This, you guys, is the opposite. She married a wonderful man and a wonderful father. But we're going to keep going on with Stacey, and then I will get to her amazing husband, Jim. I'm trying not to go back and forth, but as I tell you, ADHD is real. Warning, I forgot to give you guys warning. My podcast may be very distressing, adult situations, sad, involving SA, perhaps corruption, and just doesn't feel good. But I feel it's very important that we need to know James Arthur's story. But with James Arthur, we have to talk about Stacey, his wife. But they're not married yet. He actually opened a tanning salon on the second floor while she was a manager at a craft store in 1988. And that's where Jim met Stacey, and they were, you guys, instantly hit it off, like sun, moon, stars, reach for the, World Series kind of stuff, okay? And they were both married before, no judging in that. So they both were each other's second marriage. She was 19 years old and he was 34. He had 3 children, and Stacey adopted Jim's daughter in 1989. Now, when they got married, it is a beautiful blended household because she had a daughter as well, I believe. Articles keep going back and forth about that, but the point is she had a beautiful family, and James is amazing. Like, James is a little older than her, not judging, because I mean, it's working out. It worked out for them. She was extremely happy. Everyone very, very much was extremely happy. So she actually told her husband about her dreams. Yes, he's that amazing husband that actually supports his wife's dreams. Now remember, she's 19 years old, and And she tells him about modeling. I've always wanted to be a model, babe. Can I be a model? And of course, James is like, yeah, absolutely. I will support you. I will run the business. I'll run the tanning salon, and I will take care of us while you go and run the, do your dream. Yeah, he was that kind of supportive husband, like supportive. So after they were married, Stacy, of course, the way to describe her, she was beautiful. She really was. She was a tiny girl. They have her waist measurement in there. It's 23 inches, very, very tiny. And she had blonde, like light, feathery, blonde, brownish hair, these big doe eyes, just a beautiful girl. And what I found out from friends and family, she wasn't like a girl who thought she was all that in a bag of chips. Even though she clearly was, like, freaking showstopper. But she was very humble, okay? Now, so she tells her husband, I want to do modeling. I want to do beauty pageants. He goes, okay, you're going to do beauty pageants and you're going to do this. So even Jim, okay, he literally learned how to do nails, learned how to do her hair, made sure everything was perfect. I mean, he was like the MVP, like, of husbands, okay? So in June of 1990, she actually won Miss Ohio. Yeah, round of applause. That is amazing. Yes, someone who literally just started their dream, literally started beauty pageant, and then bam, won Miss Ohio. So she is being like, okay, I want to try modeling. So they go to Chicago and they go to the Playboy headquarters to try to become a playmate. And of course, to be a playmate, you have to be nude. You do. And a lot of partners in relationships cannot handle that. They are not secure in themselves to handle that. But James Arthur, he handled that. And he loved how his wife was confident in her skin and taking those pictures. So of December 1990, Stacy actually went to the USSR to compete in Miss America pageant. Right? Like, it is just escalating her dreams, you guys. Like, bam, bam, bam. You go, girl. She was placed in the top 10. Yeah. That's incredible. The first time you're in a pageant like that, you get top 10. Wow. So while she was there, it was announced that she would be Playmate January 1991. So Stacy actually was the first pageant queen to be a Playboy centerfold. Yes, yes, she was. No one can take that away from her. Remember that. So she wanted to use her connections to actually become a country music star. So she was going to like LA, to Nashville, and to back her home in Ohio. Sorry if I mentioned that. If she's from Ohio, I apologize. But yes, that's where she lives, Ohio. Her and her husband and the kids. So she worked really hard because she's like, okay, I've made it this far. I'm going to become Playmate of the Year. Playmate of the Year. And yeah, she totally could have gotten it. Not only she's sweet and positive, she's extremely hardworking. And according to Holly Madison, she pretty much had it in the bag. Even though Holly Madison was not there at the time, but reading transcripts and everything and hearing about Stacy, she would have won. She would have been Playmate of the Year. So I heard about this, you guys. Let me know down in the comments below if you heard about this. But in the early 1990s, there was a 1-900 number where you can actually talk to the models. Oh yeah. Yes. And I heard about this for like a short time, but I think maybe, just maybe, don't quote me, you guys, that is why we don't have it anymore, because of this case. But back in the early 1990s, Stacy wanted to become Playmate of the Year. And She was working, but she wasn't getting enough work, you know, and things were getting a little slow. They're raising these children. He's running a tanning salon. There's a little bit of financial issues going on. So she finds this job through Playboy on the 1-900 number. Yeah, it's not like a naughty line or anything like that. They said that the operator would actually disconnect the phone call if anybody was being inappropriate. Okay? So she worked and worked, and she made like $50 an hour, and the fans actually, they paid $3 a minute to talk to these playmates from Playboy. So what they would do is they would get, you know, they would call the 1-900 number, and they would talk to them, and they would have conversation. And I mean, that's just way too accessible. I'm sorry. I'm like, really? But that's how it was. So there is one caller that is making one girl, you know, Corinne, I believe her name is. Yes. There is one caller, ironically, with a sick twist of fate, you guys. His name is actually James Lindbergh, okay? But James Arthur is the man, and James Lindbergh is the devil, okay? Let's just get that straight. So I think I'm just going to call him Lindbergh, okay? So Lindbergh was the top caller for the Playboy, for the Playboy hotline, yes. Sorry. And he spent over $15,000 for talking to these women. Yeah. And I was like, oh man, so is this guy like a millionaire? Like, wow, dude, $15,000 on phone calls? What do you do, bro? He was a truck driver. He did not have that money, but he wanted to talk to those women. Now, like I said, when the men get creepy and pervy, bam, they get hung up on. But this guy, Lindbergh, he was never inappropriate with the girls. Never inappropriate. They said he lacked a sense of humor, but he was always serious. That sounds like a horrible combo to me. I don't know about you guys. Sorry. So after a while, you know, Stacy finds out that, you know, I'll talk to him, okay? Now Stacy was, I guess, naive, because she didn't realize how the events would happen, how they happened. And I'm telling you guys, it gets dark, okay? Dark. So grab your comforting blankets and what makes you happy. Clear your mind, and let's remember James Arthur, okay? So how this turns out the way it does with these horrible events. So Stacy begins to talk to Lindbergh, okay? And they talk a lot. Now, don't get it twisted. She told him all about her husband, all about their great marriage, and all about the children. It's not like she was emotionally cheating on her husband. There was nothing like that. It was strictly a friendship, okay? This dude had 31 tapes of nothing but phone calls with Stacy. So, yeah. So they start talking, and she really begins to be friends with him. She even gave him her personal phone number. I think it was like accidentally, because back in the day when you dial a phone number and do *69, you get the number. And I feel like that's how he got her number. I'm not 100% sure, but we do know that he has her number. And of course, Stacy is telling her husband all about this. It's not like she was hiding him, okay? It was not like that at all. She literally believed it was a friendship. And she said, hey, you know, yeah, we can meet. I'm going to be at the Playboy Mansion in California. Let's meet. And of course, the other playmates are like, please, Stacy, do not meet this guy. Do not meet him. Well, as fate would have it, okay, she cancels on him because her schedule was just way too busy. She could not meet up with Lindbergh. Lindbergh was crushed. I mean, he was so upset. And he left messages saying that I love you, I'm in love with you, and everything like that. And she's just like, whoa, like, we need to take a break. Okay, I value our friendship. So now this is controversial right here. So the playmate said, you're a lady. So when you're on the phone, you want to let a man down easy. You don't want to break his ego. So they believe that's what Stacy was doing, saying, hey, we need to take a break, okay? All right, I value our friendship, but he was just so angry and he just had to have her. Yeah. So October 20th, Lindbergh actually got on a train 2,000 miles. He traveled from California to Ohio to look for Stacy. Now, when he got to Ohio, he stayed in a hotel for a few days. And sadly, what they found after this whole horrible circumstance that happened, which I'm about to tell you, there was like a shrine, okay, of Stacy all over, like around the hotel walls, because he was there for a few days. Yeah, creepy. So October 29th, he made it to Ohio, like I said. So when he made it, he went into Bellevue. I am horrible with names, you know that. Oh my gosh. This city, 1 second. Sorry, I get brain farts, you guys. Bell Fountain. Sorry, it just hit me. Yes, Bell Fountain. He went to Bell Fountain because he figured, I mean, this is back in the 90s. There are no stalking laws back then. Yeah, I know. Horrible. So he got and found out she lived in Bell Fountain, Ohio. So he goes and looks for Stacy. As he was looking for Stacy, he Lindbergh stopped at a gift shop and bought gifts for Stacy. As he was walking out of the shop, he actually ran in to James Arthur. Yeah, weird. James Arthur was coming out of the tanning salon, bumped right into him, and he was like, hey, do you know Stacy? And of course, James is like, whoa, dude. You know, you got to get out of here. Like, we don't exactly know what was said, but it was calm and then it escalated. There was like yelling towards the end. But Lindbergh gave the gifts to Arthur to give to Stacy. And of course, you know, Arthur is like kind of weirded out. Like, you know, he was trying to like shoo a fly away, like, you know, get the hell out of here, you know. Which sadly, I wish that just rang more alarm bells. I mean, it must have rang something in his head, because after Lindbergh walked away, James Arthur walked back into the tanning salon and told his employees, hey, if that guy comes back in there again, I want you to call the police. When he left, he seemed a bit agitated. So the employees are like, okay. Next thing you know, James goes and grabs tanning salon bulbs, you know, like the lights, and he starts walking to his vehicle and puts them in the back of his vehicle. Okay. After he puts them back in the vehicle, Lindbergh is... First of all, this happened in broad daylight. There were like 24 witnesses. So Lindbergh, he looked like, you know, I'm guessing his hand was like getting stuck in his pocket, because, you know, someone said that he looked like he had his hand caught in the cookie jar. So he's like, you know, running and going, and then out of nowhere he gets a handgun and shoots poor James Arthur in the face. Then he shot him twice in the chest, and then he shot him 3 times in the back. James Arthur did not survive. Lindbergh ran away close to where apparently he rented his car to get to Bell Fountain, and He took his own life with the gun. Stacy was so devastated. I mean, that's like an understatement, honestly. She was so crushed because James Arthur was the love of her life, and he's gone. And his kids would never know their dad, would never grow up with him. And this James Arthur, I don't know, like, I just feel so bad for him. Like, he literally, it's just a horrible situation. And I wish total peace for his family, because it's really sad. I don't know. You know, you have the love of your life just killed. She didn't know what to do. In 1992, though, Stacy filed a $70 million lawsuit. Okay? She tried to sue Playboy. Now, she claimed that she was raped, sexually assaulted. Excuse me, that's such a harsh word. I always say SA, forgive me. By 2 bodyguards and a butler. They said it was consensual. Playboy fired the employees because you do not have sex during work hours. And nothing came out of the lawsuit. Nothing. Stacy was so angry at Playboy because she felt that they literally had a part in killing of her husband. And Playboy didn't want anything to do with her. And she didn't make Playmate of the Year. And she died in 2019, actually. And I was very confused, but let me know down in the comments below what brief illness means. I mean, that could be like anything, but she died, I think she was just like 50. And her daughter was saying that, you know, my father was the love of her life, and she spent the rest of her life looking for my dad. She could never find him. Heartbreaking. Truly devastating case, and nothing came of Stacy. Playboy just kind of cut her loose, even though she made them all the money and, you know, did all the accolades and everything like that, and she worked her butt off, but they just cut her loose, and they never helped with the family. It's really sad. Her interview is absolutely heartbreaking. From the I just can't. It was close to Halloween too. Isn't that horrible? When that happened, October 29th. Just horrible. Just breathe, take a deep breath. Mr. Arthur's family, I send you positive energy and vibes. Someone like you is so rare. And even though I don't really know you, I feel like I know you after studying your file and articles. Sending positive energy to your loved ones. Thank you so much for, you know, listening or watching my podcast. It was a total bummer. Like, true crime is definitely not a happy time. But it is a awareness time, and it is a time where you do not forget people. They always need to be remembered. Until next time, remember, you are doing better than you think. Bye, guys.